Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Sunday the 17th of November 2019. Thank you so much for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you today. I've been shopping, so I want to say a huge thank you to my wonderful Patreon supporters. You guys know who you are. Thank you so much for supporting me each month. If you do want to support this channel, and these things cost money, and cameras and tripods, all sorts of things. If you want to support me, then just go to patreon.com and look for Gregory Scott. You can help me there. But I'm so happy to be back in the heartland of the tarot in Glastonbury, because every shop has tarot cards. It's so cool. And I just love the new decks. So I've got so many decks by now. Erin keeps asking me to make a list of all my decks, and I just haven't managed to count them all, even with the move and stuff. So I've got the Modern Witch Tarot deck. I've got the Zillick Tarot, which must be older because it's in a tin, so it must be around for a long time. And this technically isn't new, the Robin Wood Tarot. I've used that before, but it got mixed up or kind of lost in the move, so I had to buy that again. So today, I want to use the Zillick Tarot by Christine Zillick. German watercolor artist Christine Zillick explores mythological, astrological, and Kabbalistic symbolism in this intriguing Thoth-style tarot deck. Okay, so let's see if I can even read this, because if it's based on Thoth, then that is not the regular Radiant Rider-Waite or Rider-Waite deck, and it has its own kind of symbolism. So let's see what the cards have to say for Sunday the 17th and how you can make the most of the day. The Universe. Oh, great. That's the last card of the Major Arcana. Oh, more yellow. Beautiful. The Nine of Wands. Strength. Amazing. The Seven of Wands. Valor. Fab. These are really beautiful. No wonder they've been around for so long. Whenever... You've seen this in my channel in the sense of which cards are good and which cards survive for decades and decades and decades. The common thread with all of them is that they're unique. They're not a copy of anyone else's, they're unique. So that's always the way forward. So the Universe is about completion and having walked the fool's journey. Having gone through the ups and downs of life, death and birth, marriage, criminal justice system, and coming out at the other end and realizing now that you are your own joy and you are your own happiness, and it comes from within. When you realize that you don't have to go externally to find your joy and your happiness, but once you've done and completed the fool's journey, which you have today, you feel that sense of completion. It's like the number 9 in numerology, spirituality and completion. You know that happiness lies in you, and it's what you bring to the table or to the party that makes the party. It's what you think of yourself that makes you happy. We generate happiness within ourselves. It's homemade. And we use that to share it with other people. We're social creatures. So it's easy to fall for the trick that, okay, there are a load of people around. I will get. It's that word, to actually get. You don't need to get anything. You've got it already. You've got that potential for infinite happiness and joy, even under the direst of circumstances. And I really mean that. Like, I have been in dire circumstances, so I don't say that lightly. it gives you a sense of support and structure when you most need it. I've had the experience of meditating and praying and, oh, everything's hunky-dory and I feel my higher power and, oh, it's so lovely, I'm walking in the sunlight of spirit. But then something goes really wrong and I get furious or I'm hurt or I'm crying or something. And I try and pray and connect, and then that connection is gone when I most need it. And that's because I've shifted. I'm so in my feelings that I can't feel that quiet connection. And today, the universe card gives you the ability to connect with yourself and the universe and with other people. The 9 of Wands is really strength and overcoming any obstacle. We've got a crescent moon there. We've got this pointing at the womb of this woman or the outline of a woman. So I think they're referring to childbirth, how difficult that is. So, I mean, realize you've gone through childbirth. This problem, for example, with your boss at work is nothing in comparison to that. You've survived much worse. So the sense of self and the sense of happiness is wonderful because she didn't get here by just sitting under a rock and being happy. She has gone through the fool's journey, as I said. And part of that fool's journey is having a tyrant at work or in your family and finding happiness and passion despite that person or that thing. So you're whole and complete, you're stronger than you realize, and you're braver than you realize. You've got valor. It's about fighting your way through and facing your enemies, facing the music, owning up to what you've done, taking responsibility for what's going on, being honest, and knowing that what you put out, you get back. Yesterday, actually, when I bought these decks, I forgot, but there is one other deck that I bought, and it's not in a casing that has a name on it. And they thought it was the Servants of the Light Tarot. So they were looking it up at the shop, at the tarot shop. They were looking up the price online. And they were looking, and they couldn't find it. And I was looking on my phone while they were looking. I went on Amazon and I typed in Servants of the Light Tarot. And I saw it on Amazon for $385. So I said, hey guys, to be honest, I've seen this here on the internet for $385. And this is where I always buy my tarot decks. I love her shop. She's got this beautiful dog, the lady. She's so nice. And yeah, so I didn't want to, rip her off or anything. So I said, I found it for $385. The guy that was there with her, he said, oh no, that's not the one. This isn't it. It's kind of tarot of the light and kind of not. So they gave it to me for £15. So you'll be seeing that as well in future, okay? But today is really about knowing that you've gone through everything and just sitting in your strength and your bravery. So it doesn't necessarily mean that something's going to come up that is difficult. But if something difficult does come up, a family argument, leading a group of people, being a leader, creative differences, anything like that, you're going to stand up for yourself and you're going to say, well, I have a vision too, and it's just as valid as yours. So it's a time of power and realizing your own strength and realizing how much power you have. And not only that, how much experience you have. I remember Carrie Fisher talking about this. She was at a meeting and she was talking to a friend of hers, and she was talking about going into therapy with her daughter. And she was, in her words, whining to this friend saying, oh, it's going to be so difficult going into therapy. And the friend said, you've done difficult before. And I loved that. And I think she loved it as well. Otherwise she wouldn't mention it. I love that. We've all done difficult before. We've all done hard before. We've all done insurmountable despair, hopelessness. We've all been in those places, right? So whenever they come up now, each time you deal with them, you become a little bit more complete because you're like, here's this situation cropped up again. Let's say with my daughter's dancing coach. And I'm starting to see this pattern that I'm always bringing people into my life who take things much more slowly than I would like. I manifest delays in my life. For instance, you see that for yourself, and then you can adjust your behavior. And adjusting your behavior takes strength and valor, because changing you, it's very easy for us to point the finger and to say, you need to change your narcissistic ways, you're so selfish. But looking inside of ourselves and saying, wow, I really have the tendency to lie a lot, for instance, and I'm going to decide I'm not going to do that. You need strength and valor, because personal change, I believe that people can change. On a spiritual level, we're always the same. We're always perfect and held in the palm of the universe. But on an emotional, personal, character level, of course we can change. In my experience, it takes falling on your face pretty hard. I had to fall on my face and completely change everything around for me to change. And it was blood and guts, and it was hard as nails. That's the way I experienced change. Unfortunately, a lot of people out there are like me and who only learn when they're forced to learn with extreme pain. But the more enlightened ones among you, you can learn from a place of joy and strength and valor, simply by facing yourself, by being in the moment, by owning your own stuff, and by realizing that you've done difficult before. This is nothing new. So you can have a wonderful day. It's not going to be a day without a blemish. There will be a blemish on the day. So for instance, if you have 2 children and you take them to Disneyland, maybe one of them will run off. That sounds really sinister, no, but the reason I use that example is my parents took me to the Austrian version of Disneyland when I was a child, and before we went into the theme park, my dad said, if any of us get lost, come back to this space. Okay? So obviously I got lost because I was fascinated by the twinkling lights and all the fabulousness. So I got lost and I went back to that place. I sat down and all these people were so kind. They said, I was a little boy, I think I was like 5 or something. And they're like, are you okay? Where are your parents? And I'm like, I'm fine. I know where to be. I am waiting here for my dad. I'm good. And they showed up and they're like, yay, here we go. So you've done it before. You can do it again. If anything, you have become much, 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 much stronger as your life has got on, rather than weaker. I recently put something on my Instagram. It was a little Pikachu image and it said, well done. So far, you've survived 100% of your bad days. And you're not going to have a bad day here because you have the capacity for joy, to begin something new, to be a pioneer, to be passionate, fiery, to create, to take criticism without falling apart because you really believe in yourself or something that you're trying to create. Number-wise, 21 and 9 is 30 and 7 is 37. 3 and 7 is 10. That reduces to 1 in numerology. And 1 is like 1 in numerology is like Aries in astrology. It's like the magician in the tarot. It's about taking the initiative, listening to your higher self, or being in touch with your higher self, listening to what it has to say, mulling that through, and then saying, oh, okay, that's a great idea, but how am I going to implement that? It's going to take great strength and valor. Well, just so happens that you're lucky today and you have great strength and valor. So any of the ideas that you really want to create in the world, something you want to bring the party to you. You're the one who's got the passion and the fire. People will want to come to you because you've created this wonderful thing. You don't have to go out there and chase anybody else. So 1 is about being the leader, being in charge, being the person who people come to for guidance and help and for direction. That's you today. And you're not only strong for yourself, but you're strong for other people, and you can create your life the way you want it in whatever aspect of your life you feel it's lacking, in your love life, in your friendships, in your hobbies. You don't have enough passion in your life. You don't do enough exercise maybe, and you miss it. You used to run every day and now you miss it. Whatever it is, you can take the initiative because you have all the experience in the world, in the universe, and you have the strength and the courage to either restart something or to start something completely new and to feel good about it and to enjoy the journey rather than just focusing on the end result. Have a wonderful day. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please get in touch via the website, gregoryscott.com. Click on the Book Your Readings Now button on the front page or the shop tab to order your personal reading with me. I've heard your feedback, by the way, about making the fonts a little bigger and black on black. And a lot of you guys love the website, so that's fabulous. But I will be feeding that back. So look out for ongoing changes and improvements to be made to the website. I use astrology, tarot, and numerology in my personal readings. I can answer any questions you may have. So if you're unsure about your life purpose, what you're supposed to do work-wise, what's going on in love and money, and why you're stuck in this poverty spiral, and what your strengths and weaknesses are, I can answer any questions you may have. So, as I said, if you want a personal reading with me, get in touch via the website, gregoryscott.com. If you like this video, then please hit the subscribe button and share this video online. Have a lovely Sunday, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.